Hi there, we're very excited in this video to introduce to you the latest control panel from Happy Industrial Corporation, which is now a part of the latest Happy embroidery machines coming off the line in Japan, where the machines are designed and produced. And there's several models here are all getting the same control panel, which means that for the operator who learns one model embroidery machine from Happy, means that they can instantly operate those other models as well. But we want to get to the most exciting part here of this new screen here that you see here, which is that first of all, that it's a touch screen and it's got some new features. The most obvious one that you can see here is that it's got a little screensaver where you can add custom messages of your own or custom pictures, just like your computer desktop screensaver. Now let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about this by go ahead and touching the screen, which is takes us to the startup boot screen here, and it shows us a couple things. The first one is the currently selected hoop, which we can change here to pick whatever hoop that we're going to use for the current project at hand. By hitting that button, we can see the different categories of round, square, caps, or even custom hoops. In this case, we'll pick a round hoop. And the different model round hoops are available for the machine are here. By picking one of them and hitting set, you'll see that makes some things that are easier here when we start operating the machine. So let's go ahead and do that by hitting the next button, which takes us immediately to the home drive screen here. You can hear that little noise. The machine does a little self-test up on startup, and we can see some important information here on that main drive screen. And we'll show you here shortly how you can perform just about every function you need to operate the machine right from the screen. For example, you've got the design here in color that shows you what it's going to look like. And then also to the right of that, we've got a little sub-screen here that not only shows the design in miniature, but shows the selected hoop that we just picked and about where that's going to sew in the hoop. So we can change that if we want to, or even change the hoop by going to the button that's in that section. So makes a lot of sense to have a button right next to what you're looking at that lets you make the change. And you can see that hoop image and then the sewable area in red in a much bigger close-up with the design area here in blue. So we can change the hoop if we want to with the same button we saw on startup to a different size hoop in case we don't see that it's fitting. And we can also have other controls here that will adjust the position, like these arrows here, for example. Will let us move the design position around, and we can go as exactly as we want to and put it anywhere that's within the allowable red area. And as long as we don't cross that area like we just did here, then we won't hit the hoop. So we always have that useful reference of seeing where we're going to sew. And we can back that up by hitting the trace button here. And what that does is by hitting the play button, we'll actually move the arms of the machine as it points to the edges of the design where they're going to fall. So you have two references to check your fit and position of your design within the selected hoop. Other useful features here in the screen are frame out for helping you with applique, instantly centering the design. Let's say we want to move that to center, just hit a button and instantly you can see how nicely that lines up with center. Going back to the beginning if we want to, and other, again, useful features in the hoop selection and design positioning screen. We'll go ahead and get out of this. You can see by getting out of it, if we want to go back to our main sewing screen here, there's a little home button here that's shaped like a little house and in this bottom right corner. So if you're in any other screen other than your main sewing screen that we're here, we see here, we can just look down here and escape back out by looking for that little home button. As another example, this is changed to a menu little screen here, and if we hit the menu button, then we can see other sub-functions in here in the other screen, and then just by, again, hitting on the home button, we can get back. Let's look at the other features here that we need to accomplish a sewing task. We've selected our hoop and positioned it. We'll also want to program the colors. For example, the design we have selected here has 8 color changes, and each one of those sections is highlighting and showing the current color code that's assigned to that. So we can change that. Let's say we want to make this section here that's highlighted in color sew out in a different color, let's say red. We'll find the needle number that has the red cone on it. In this case it's number 1, and select that, and you can see that when we hit that, that will actually change that to a red color. So if we go back to that color change, you can see that's red. And we can see as we make changes to the design, let's say we'll make this section here, we'll make that blue. As we make changes, we can always glance very quickly at what we're looking at here. And there's other neat functions in here that also let us reprogram these colors to wherever we want to move the cones, the color cones, anywhere on the machine. Even little useful features like setting applique stops, telling the machine to stop at certain points for applique and frame out as well. Very useful in this main color setup screen. So going back to the main sewing screen again, hit our home button here, and that takes us back out. Let's see some of the other useful features. We can set our maximum allowable speed with a little speedometer here. We can see that's max set to 850. This particular machine, the HCD1501, happens to be able to be set to a little bit of a higher speed here. We can get to that, and we can also do this during the machine sew out if we want to as well. And then the actual speed will display here as the machine is sewing. So for example, we're ready to go by programming, making sure that fits. We've selected our colors. We can simply hit start, and you'll actually hear the machine operating and sewing. And you can see a progress bar here. And this will move across the screen as we go through the different stitches. And we'll pause that here, and you can see that we can even jump forward or backwards to any position in the design from this screen here, where we can move it forward by color block, jump to a particular stitch, or even just kind of jog forward by 1, 10, or 100 stitches, or by color change forward and backwards. Going back to the main screen, and let's go ahead and let's revisit some of these other functions here in the main menu to kind of close up. We've seen some of these features like already, like needle and frame, but the most important one here for setup is reading in a design from a thumb drive, or pulling it off of a PC connection. We can read in designs from this screen here. And then also we can, once designs are loaded in here, the Happy machines, the new ones, can hold millions of stitches worth of designs. So we can have a hefty library here that we can manage and group them and organize them into subfolders, and do other utility functions like erasing, copying, duplicating designs, giving us basic information about each. So great library manager here that comes with our embroidery machine. So a lot of functionality. Settings for adjusting the machines and designs itself and the way they behave. Onboard lettering with a nice handy virtual keyboard so we can type up some quick monograms. And also other useful functions. Here's production reporting that gives the operator an idea of how often the machines run, so you get an idea of the kind of progress the machine is making. And also some, you might have seen earlier, there's onboard networking, where we can actually put this machine on a network of several Happy machines, allowing operators the flexibility of controlling several machines at once. And also, we've got other features like this onboard guide that lets us lets new operators understand basics such as hooping, threading, and needles. And this is all part of Happy making their machines much more user-friendly and easy to be productive as quickly as possible. Now here's the screensaver that we saw earlier. By loading in custom images here into these slots from a USB drive, we can actually customize that screensaver here as well. And finally, last but not least, this exciting feature called iCustom lets us customize some of the buttons on the front screen. For example, if we wanted to put a time and date and display that up front, we can do that. Or, for example, if we wanted to automatically be able to center design from a single button push, and we want to put that at the top icon, we set that. And let's go ahead and see that out of these little options that you have. You're customizing your tiles just like a smartphone or a tablet. So escaping back out to the main menu, you'll notice that centering button is now up here. So this entire right side is customizable to the operator's preferences, letting you style and customize your Happy machine to your again, for greater productivity and ease of use. We hope you've enjoyed this short demonstration of the Happy's touchscreen control panel. And for more information, check out this and other videos at www.happyemb.com. Thank you for watching.